Hi there, this is Catherine with Enfolded Heart Music. Welcome back to the tutorials for Veil of Mist. I apologize, it took me quite a while to get this going. I jammed my finger playing with some kids in the neighborhood, and anyways, needed to give it some time to heal and not push it too much. So thankfully, it's essentially all the way better, but still taking it slow with a few things. But anyways, hopefully nobody was waiting for this. I sort of imagine that it likely has taken, if you're following this, it's probably, something that you're still working on the first parts with. So thankfully we only had the very, very end and a few kind of exceptional points left to do. So anyways, this is part 4 of the walkthrough tutorial. If this is the first video you're watching of this, be sure to check out the first 3 videos, otherwise this won't make a lot of sense. But the gist of it is that we go note by note, walking very slowly and very detailed in a very detailed way through the song to help you be able to learn it. Sheet music is available. Just check out the links below if you have any questions about that. Let me know. I use the sheet music both to sort of use it as a reference point for measures so that we're all on the same page, and also if you're wanting to learn how to read sheet music a bit more, or maybe some to understand some more advanced or more tricky rhythms, then that sort of thing would probably be of assistance to you to have that in front of you. So today we're going to be doing the end, and then again some of those exceptional points where maybe we have part A repeated, but there's 1 or 2 notes that are added that are a little bit different. So let's first finish off the song, and let's go ahead and take a look at the ending, and then we'll go through some of those more nitty-gritty places. Okay, sorry, I didn't realize that the microphone was right in front of my face, pretty much for that last one, but that's all right. It doesn't need to be perfect. So let's give some context. So again, we've really done the entire piece. We've gone through, let me just walk through how the parts lay out. We have part A, then part B, then a return to part A. Then we go to part C, D, before we return again to A. Then we have a part E, going back then to B, C, and then here we are again at A. So this is measure, let's see, what is that? 84. And what you'll notice, I'll zoom in on the lyre in just a minute, but what you'll notice is that essentially from measures 84 through, let me see, through about 90 are part A. So you already know that. This is the way that I do the ending here is a pretty typical way where I take the very end of the phrase and repeat it with slight variations, and so it has this sort of effect of kind of trailing off into the distance, and it kind of leaves you with the main line in your note, but it doesn't abruptly stop. So we kind of take the last measure and then do 2/3 more kind of riffs on it, and then we play the last note, our B, because we're in B minor. Then we just play that, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7 times. So there's not too much to it, but we're basically going to start at measure 90 and go to the end. So let me pause once again for just a moment, zoom in the camera, and we'll come back. Okay, so let me just walk through a little bit more explicitly what I was saying and show you in a little bit of a different way so it's really clear. Let me make sure I didn't put that right in the way. Oh, I did. All right, so measure 84. Again, we have part A repeating itself, so oops. So that, what I just ended with, let's see, that is measure 90. And that's kind of the end of the section that you already know. So, well, no, that'll be fine. Okay, so we have measure 90. That's with the pickup. And then what we have at the end of measure 90, because this then goes into 91, is a pickup, which is a C sharp in the right hand. And so we're basically going to repeat 2 additional times this little phrase. Let me play that again. And so this is, to name the notes, we've got C sharp, D, E, F sharp, E, D, and back down to C sharp. Okay, it doesn't always go back down to C sharp. The second one doesn't quite, but I'll talk about that in a moment. Okay, the rhythm for that is we've got a pickup of an eighth note, which is the C, then 2 eighth notes. Remember, they're swung. Then we have a section of triplets, eighth note triplets, with a rest in the first slot. So we have triplet, 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 rest, triple. Oh, sorry. Triplet, triplet, trip. You'll rest on the trip. Triplet. So triplet, triplet. Okay. This one might, I mean, again, I think a lot of these it's a little bit easier just to hear it and mimic the sound of it, but just so you know what's actually being written here. Okay. After the triplet, we then have a quarter note on the D, and then 2 eighth notes. I'll just say 1 eighth note, which is on the C, because the second eighth note, which is also a C, is the pickup note into the next measure. Okay. So here, let me play it for you one more time, just so you get a feel for it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, to get this bottom C sharp, I actually just use my 1 again, because I need to play this riff one more, an additional time. And so if I cross with the 2, which is fine, I then have to switch my finger from a 2 to a 1. And I personally just don't prefer to do that. I prefer to just keep it as the 1. But I think either option is valid. All right, so sorry, that was really measure 89. Now is measure 90, where again we lead in with the same thing. Oops. And instead of going down to the C again for that eighth note, we're going to go up to the G. So this one will sound, this is pickups, this is measure 90 plus the pickup of the C sharp. It's the very end of it. The rhythm is exactly the same. So just to zoom in on 91, those notes are D, E, F, E, D, G, and C. So let me play 90 and 91 together so that this is making a little bit more sense. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now let's add the third one so that we can get a feel for this whole little section, because it's a little bit strange to parse it out into individual measures. So we've got measure 92. Again, we have the C sharp as a pickup. And the only difference in this measure, we do actually then end on the C sharp, but I paused at the D because right there we have a quarter note, which is what we had before, and then we have a C sharp as a quarter note rather than an eighth note. Okay, so here's measure 92. Yep. And on this one, I would use your 2 for the C sharp, because in 93, you need to get down to the B. So let's do right hand measures 90, 91, and 92. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this first note is where we're going to. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay. The left hand is much more simple. All we have in the left hand are quarter notes, and they're going back and forth between two different positions. All right. So we're coming from the A position, ACE. That's measure 89. But we're talking about 90, 91, and 92. Here, it doesn't really matter in the finger if you want to do 1, 2, or 1 and 3, but we have a G and a B. Then we shift up one note to A and C, and then back down, and back up, down, up. So here is the left hand for this whole section. So 91, 92, and 93. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's put the hands together. Okay. Ba-bum, ba-bum. All right. I'm trying to think what I naturally do here. Yeah, I think I usually wanted to. All right. Here we go. Measures 90, 91, and 92. Sure I'm on the right note. Okay. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. One more time. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. All right. Now for the the last 4 measures. All right, the right hand is extraordinarily simple, which is wonderful. We just have this B as half notes 6 times, and then we end playing it one final time as a whole note. So we just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. We do have a small ritardando, which means a slowing down at the end here, but that's going to be paced a little bit more by the left hand because it's got quarter notes rather than half notes. So you'll be able to feel that a little bit more, and the right hand will kind of follow the left hand in that way. So what does the left hand have? Mostly quarter notes. We've got 2 half notes in there. But the positioning is back up to our kind of home base with leading with our B down here. And we go back and forth between B and A, which is not where my finger is. I'm sorry. B and F. There we go. B and F. Okay. So in the first 2 measures, 93 and 94, we have quarter, half, quarter, and then it repeats. So quarter, half, quarter. B, F, F. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. This is 93 and 94. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the last 2 measures, the first one we have all quarter notes going back and forth between those 2 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then ending on the B as a whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's hit that whole line with just the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. I hope I didn't do 3 of those. I may have. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ritardando. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's put the hands together. I'm going to do the ritardando as I do these, just so you can get a feel for an option of how you can do it. This is a really a place for kind of musicality and individual interpretation, but you do want to slow down a little bit to help the the song sort of slide to a slow stop. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Perfect. Okay, now I want to do, before we kind of close this section up, I'd like to do all of part A to the end so that you understand that transition and just kind of how it all goes together. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, one more time. My left hand was not exactly as is written, so I'm going to try and do it as is written there. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that is the whole piece. Woohoo! Very good. Let us take a pause for a moment. I'm going to review the excuse me, the kind of exceptional spots real quick for a moment, and then we'll come back and we'll touch on those. All right, so one final little thing. There's actually only really 2 spots where there's exceptions. The first is within part A. You know what? I forgot to check something really quick. This exception is there the second and the third time A is played. I wanted to see if it was there in the fourth. Okay, so looking at it more closely, there's really only 2 spots where there's something a little bit different when a part repeats. So the first one is in part A. So part A is played 4 times, and the first and the second time are the same, whereas the second and the third time are the same. And there's one slight difference in the very end of, like if you were to cut part A in half, the very end of that first section is where there's a little bit of kind of some added notes, maybe also really just kind of different notes. So what I want you to do is, looking at your sheet music, compare measure 4 to measure 21 just in the right hand. The left hand doesn't change. So in measure 4, we're going to lead up to this. So let's do measure 3. It sounds like this. Let's see. So we lead into the repetition, measure 5, with, which is not how we lead into it in measure 21. So rather than going here and then beginning, instead we're going to do something different. So let's take a listen to that. I'm now looking at measures 20, 21, and 22. This is how that sounds. So let me speak what it is and then let you hear it again. The difference is at the very end of measure 21. Whereas the first time you play it, you lead into it with this. in measure 21, you end it much more with. So that's a G as an eighth note and F as a half note. Let me isolate it a little bit more. Here's 2021, the very end of 20 to 21. One more time. Oops. Okay. Again, let me contrast this one more time with measure 4. Okay, I hope that's clear. The only other way I can think to explain this is to articulate the rhythm. So in measure 4, we have eighth note on the E and G, E and F, goodness, E and F, with a rest of a beat and a half, so a dotted quarter is the rest. Then we come in with 3 eighth notes, and that's the end of the measure. Those 3 eighth notes are D, C, and B. And that immediately brings us into one more time. Okay. In contrast, in measure 21, we start the same with 2 eighth notes, E and F. Then instead of a bigger pause after those notes with the beat and a half, the dotted quarter note, we only have an eighth note rest before coming in with the eighth note of G and then a half note on F. And because that's a half note, it doesn't lead like immediately into the next measure. So the pause is at the end of the measure rather than kind of in the middle. Hopefully that helps articulate. Okay, this is also true in measure 49. So 49 has the okay. Whereas at the very end, it's just the same as normal, as the first one. Oops. Let me do that again. Etc. All right. Okay, that's the first one. The second one is in measures 79, 80, 81, 82, and 83. This is the repetition of part C as it leads into the final play of part A. And so it's got a different ending to it. It's not really actually even all that helpful to compare it as strongly as we just did with our other instance to the first time part C is played. We can do that in a little bit of a brief way. So essentially, it's the same from measures 73. Let me make sure I'm speaking this right before I say it. Okay, sorry, I was getting confused with the whistle part. So it is the same from the beginning all the way through until measure 79, which on the first time it's played will be measure 32. So 32, 33, and 34 are distinct for the first time playthrough of part C, whereas 79, 80, 81, 82, and 83 are distinct for the second time it's played. So I'm going to just play for you how it sounds the second time, because it is so distinct and so different. We end up, as you probably just noticed, we end up extending it for essentially 2 more measures, and that helps to build up a little bit of tension before we go back to part A for that final time, which is just kind of a nice thing. Okay. So let's just review part C in the right hand real quick, just so you get an idea of this. Okay. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, that's where the similarities basically stop. Now, what is actually happening in the right hand from here on out is it's fairly simple. I'm going to play it for you just with the right hand, and then we'll kind of move from there. Okay, so this is a pickup note to measure 79. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we basically climb down using quarter notes before the very end where we repeat this B. So the pickup note is A, and then we just have 4 quarter notes starting from G and descending. G, F, E, and D. Now, it's 5 notes, and since we don't use our pinky, you're going to have to figure out where you want to cross over and how you want to do that. I like to do my 3 on A so that I end on my 1. I cross over with my 2 onto the E, and then in addition to landing on my 1 and ending with that, my 4 is now exactly where I need it at the beginning of measure 80. Because in measure 80, we again have 4 quarter notes, but now instead of starting on, basically, instead of starting on this A, you start on the G. And we have G, F, E, D. So here's those 2 measures. And then you're going to want to put your 4 on F for the beginning of measure 81 to then do quarter notes with that one. So we have F, E, D, and C. Oop. Let's do that again. And then in measure 82, we have a half note, dotted quarter, eighth, and then in the next measure, a whole note, all on B. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's this whole section together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now looking at the left hand, I'm sorry, I'm going to move my string right here. Looking at the left hand, we have the same rhythm for 3 measures in a row, and but different notes for 2 of those measures. So in the first measure, which is measure 79, we are in our A position, ACE, and we have a dotted quarter, regular quarter note. Then we shift down to our G position, GBD, same rhythm, dotted quarter, regular quarter. And then in measure 81, we shift back up to our ACE position with the same rhythm. Okay, I'm not doing the rhythm, I'm just playing the notes. And then finally, in the last 2 measures, we have a quarter on B. Then we have D as a half note and F as a quarter note. Then landing on B again as a whole note. So here's with the proper rhythm. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 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 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's put these together.
and 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And that's it. That's actually it. That's the whole piece. So now we need to play the whole piece. I'm gonna preface this by saying I probably will not get everything exactly as is written. I will do my very best. But that I say that as just a kind of heads up, but also really mostly as permission for you to kind of dabble in it and don't be as strict as you might be prone to. It kind of depends on your um, I don't know, maybe background or personality or who knows. I will try and do my very, very best, but that's not how I play personally, and so I play with much more free. Mostly in the left hand is going to be slightly different in some spots, but we will see. I think I'm going to try and use the sheet music, and but anyways, we will go from there. So let's go through the whole piece, and then we'll have a little bit of a closing statement. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Part B. Part A. Exception. Part C. Part D. Part A. Part E. Exception. Final A. Okay, not bad. It was mostly the left hand. I think I'd have to listen back to it again, but let me just draw this closer. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this song. It's definitely a challenging song. But a lot of fun and a lot of different ways to play it. I think I played it this time actually a little bit faster than is on the recording. It's probably about the same, but anyways, you could slow it down, have really pull on that swing nature to it, or you could speed it up, whatever you would like to do. I personally feel like you can be pretty flexible with that. So, anyways, if you have any questions about this piece in particular or anything else, feel free to send me an email or put a comment down below, whatever's best for you. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it and hope this tutorial has been helpful, even for a more challenging song, or maybe especially so. So, anyways, hope you're enjoying the lyre, and hopefully I'll be getting back to some of the other projects that I've been working on. So, hope to post more videos soon of some different things that have started but haven't quite finished yet. And, anyways, thank you very much, and God bless you. May the peace of Christ be with you. Thanks again.